Everyone loves a good story. Whether be a tales of heroes that set once upon the time, or villainous drama, downfall, or redemption. Well, get comfy. This gun has none of these. The M3. A SMG that costs you less than a burger. And shaped like a cart tool. So, what is the downside of Thompson? And what's the advantages of cheaper weapon? Does fire rate really matter? The early 20th century was defined by great invention, and by war. New technology changes the battlefield. And in the case of First World War, brought a stalemate unlike any others. So the submachine gun was invented. Blasting pistol cartridge at full auto, instead of fighting till death with a heavy wood stick. Thompson. An elegant submachine gun designed by John T. Thompson. Well, it's a bit heavy and it suffers from hitting targets beyond 50 meters. It's not hard for a weapon like this to eventually be obsolete. George Hyde of General Motors' Inland Division was given the task of designing the new weapon. They were guided by two lists of requirements. The weapon has to be an all-metal weapon of sheet metal construction, chamber in 45 ACP, fast and inexpensive production with a minimum of machining, and keep the cyclic rate of fire under 500 rounds per minute. First they bring out the M2 Hyde. Even though it's good enough, but it can be better. The T-20 model was formally approved by the U.S. Army Ordnance for production at GM's Guide Lamp Division in December 1942 as the M3. Guide Lamp produced 606,694 of the M3 variant submachine gun between 1943 and 1945. Although reports of malfunctions caused by the single-feed magazine design appeared during the initial firing trials, no changes were made to the M3 magazine. In December 1944, in response to field requests for further improvements to the basic M3 design, an improved, simplified variant of the M3 was introduced. The M3A1. It simplified the cocking handle with a recessed cocking slot machined into the top front portion of the bolt. M3 has a lot of nicknames, but the one that really sticks to it is Grease Gun, because of just how visually similar it is to the tool. After the release of the Medal of Honor series, World War II games were everywhere. In games, M3 were often a higher damage submachine gun, given an option of faster time to kill. Even though it was more common in real life, Thompson was regularly at the front of M3. At the movies, M3 was a quite common thing. Even though Thompson and other modern guns were more impressive and cooler, nobody wants a gangster or hero welding with a grease gun. Even so, there are some movies that feature M3, for example, China Gate, 5 Gates to Hell and Hell is for Heroes. A weapon that builds to be better than its predecessor, but it seems like its older brother it's more famous. It's just like those quiet kids, if it's mad, better watch out. A weapon had none of the elegance and style of Thompson, but all of the functionality at fraction of cost. It had none of the sin and vulgarity of its predecessors. It's just a submachine gun. It flip up, it's killing. It flip down, it's not killing. The M3. Cheap. Reliable. The grease gun.